Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Ocho Rios in Jamaica for the don'ts of visiting Jamaica. And I gotta tell you, the first don't I have for you when you come to Jamaica is don't get in a hurry. No matter what you're doing, have a lot of patience. When you're going through passport control, when you're going through customs, when you're waiting for your taxi, when you're waiting for your server, your bill, your red stripe, you gotta have patience when you are here. It's very much a laid back atmosphere, and you have to have that mentality. I mean, I'm here in Ocho Rios. There's actually 2 cruise ships in here right now while we're here, and you can see the frustration from people like, hurry up, hurry up. I'm like, you can't hurry up. Right there, you gotta have the right attitude when you come to Jamaica. It's just laid back, nice, friendly atmosphere. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing I want to tell you is don't think that their friendliness isn't real. Jamaicans are actually insanely friendly and insanely helpful people. I mean, that's been our favorite part of coming to Jamaica, is just the people in general, because they're awesome. The thing is, a lot of tourists sometimes feel that it's over the top, like, oh, it's fake friendliness, they just want my money. No, if someone's asked you for something, you say, no, man, I'm good, thank you, but you have a great day. They'll usually be like, hey, respect, and move on, because you're showing them respect. It works really well that way. So just realize you might make some really good friends when you do come here, because the people are really awesome and friendly. And if you need directions, they will help you with directions too, okay? Now, my third don't for you is don't get overwhelmed when you go to a market or you're on the beach with all the touts and salespeople and stuff like that. Because I think that's one of the things that people get really upset about. Like when you read about Jamaica, they're like, oh, people wouldn't just leave me alone. I just wanted to be left alone. Why do they keep asking if I want to buy sunglasses or something else? And that kind of upsets people. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you, like I just said, if you tell them, hey, no thanks, I'm good, I already got some back at the hotel, it's all good, thank you, but respect, I appreciate it, you have yourself a great day. That's how you kind of deal with it, because you say, no, I don't want anything, or leave me alone. Of course people are going to get upset. Wouldn't you get upset if someone did that to you when you're trying to make your living? So do have a heads up for that. Remember, patience and friendliness goes a long way here in Jamaica. And the thing is, when you're talking to the locals, don't be surprised if you don't understand everything they say, because Jamaican or patois, you know, with the yaman kind of stuff, you'll hear a lot. Look, just slow it down. Take some time to think about it. You'll catch on to everything they're pretty much saying. Should be okay that way. But don't expect you're going to understand everything. And it's okay to ask people to repeat things. It's no big deal, all right? But you know, English is the official language here, so you're fine with that. But the Jamaican kind of patois language sometimes throws some of the tourists off, but it is kind of a fun thing. I mean, you'll still get by just fine. Remember, patience. Everything will be fine. And speaking of that yaman kind of stuff, I would say is don't overdo the yaman with the locals kind of thing. That is one thing I noticed. I'm always talking to the locals like a normal kind of person, like how I usually talk. And it's kind of funny because sometimes they'll stop and then they'll put a Midwest accent back at me. They'll be like, hey, well, you have a nice day today, sir. Be well. And they'll laugh and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, you're totally pulling my leg here. Because a lot of tourists come here and they're just like, yeah, man, yeah, be good, man. Yeah, me all right, man. They'll overdo it with the locals, and it's kind of rude. I mean, think about it. If you're in Germany and someone comes up to you in Germany like, yeah, I think this is good, would you like that? Or when someone comes up and does a southern accent to you if you're in the US or something, you don't really usually appreciate that. I mean, the locals here are pretty laid back, so they'll make sure you go aye, and they'll make sure you're like, yeah, man. They'll get you to say those things, but just maybe don't overdo it with that, because that can come off wrong. And one of the things with the people here, you'll notice every store you go to, every shop you might go to, market stall, restaurant, stuff like that, everyone's always like, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, good night. This is very much a part of the culture here. So don't forget, whenever you go in and you see people at a store, you see people maybe at your condo or wherever, you always want to say good morning, good day, always greet people, because that's a thing they do here. And if you don't do it, it's really seen as kind of rude. So make sure you're being polite and saying hi to those people when you come in, saying that good morning, hey, you have a good night, we'll see you later, you know, your thumbs up and kind of stuff. It really goes a long way to help you kind of bond with the locals here. Now, when you are coming here, and I know a lot of people come on cruise ships when they come here, they go to resorts and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, do I need to get any money when I'm here? Well, don't worry, you don't have to exchange money when you come to Jamaica. They do take the US dollar as well as the Jamaican dollar when you are here. It's pretty much easy to do anywhere you go. I mean, the exchange rate will fluctuate by stall, I would say, or by location, so do have a heads up for that, but you can pay with US dollars, no problem. Now, one of the things I always recommend for tourists is don't drive when you're in Jamaica if you don't have to. And I don't mean don't drive around Jamaica, I mean don't you personally drive here. You can, but man, driving here is like white knuckle. Why are people passing so close? There's not enough room there. That truck's gonna hit them. Oh my God, what's going on here? Why are they honking at me? Why are they blinking at me? Look, it can be quite stressful driving in Jamaica. So we recommend is actually hire a driver when you are here that will take you around, and they'll know how to drive. They'll know when they're supposed to honk, when they flash the lights, when they're going to pass, when things are, these kind of things. It really makes life a lot easier and a lot less stressful, so you can enjoy the rum and the red stripe and the other fun stuff that's here and let them do the driving for you. I know we hired a company called Holiday Services. Their driver, Michael, he's been taking us around the last week, and like, he's become part of our family. We just really love him, and it's just such a great thing because the driver helps you connect with the locals and gives you more background. So instead of you driving around to figure things out, they're explaining stuff to you while you drive around, and it really makes it for a much better experience. Another thing I'm going to say with the driving is, if you do drive, don't freak out with the honking and the flashing lights. That's because when people are going to pass you during the day, they honk that they're going to pass, so you need to move over a little bit. And when it's nighttime, they'll flash their brights at you like from behind, and then you move over and they can pass you, because it really is tight passing when you are here. Also, don't forget, they drive on the left here. This is a former British colony, and they drive on the left. So if you're going to cross the street when you're walking, make sure you look right. I would look right, left, right, left. I would just keep looking, because the cars here are crazy and they're not necessarily always looking out for the pedestrians, so do be careful. Also, when you are driving around, don't worry about those goats and cows you see on the side of the street. You will see ghosts, and you will see a cow or two, and you might think, are they lost? No, people own those goats. It's okay. They wander home at night for dinner. Don't worry about them. I've seen some concerned tourists about the goats. I'm like, don't worry. They're all good, all right? They're taken care of. Now, another thing, if you are going to be driving around Jamaica, a lot of people like to kind of get an idea of how long the drive's going to be before they go. So they look on Google Maps or Waze or whatever, and it kind of gives you a mile. It's like, oh, it's 40 miles to this place. Oh, 40 miles, 45 minutes. No. Don't think a short distance equals a short amount of time when you drive in Jamaica. Because of the traffic and the roads, especially if you're going in the mountains, the hills and stuff like that, it will take you a lot longer. Think about it this way. 40 miles is probably going to take you an hour and a half, something like that. So do have a heads up for it. If you do want to cut a lot of time out of driving, if you want to go from Ocho Rios to Kingston, which we've done, it was, a beautiful drive. it's beautiful when you go through there. Kingston was really cool to visit, the Bob Marley Museum, all the Trench Town and the Devon House and the ice cream that's there. There was a really cool experience to go there. But we took the toll road there. And what I'm going to tell you right now is, don't think that toll road is cheap. It was about 25 US one way. So I spent $50 in tolls going back and forth, and their exchange rate they give you there is horrible, okay? So do have a heads up for that, but it will save you an insane amount of time and headache by taking the toll road versus the back roads to get to Kingston from Ocho Rios. So I just want to give you a heads up for that one. Now, I know since I said don't drive when you are here, you're probably going to be taking the buses when you come here. And my don'ts for the buses here is, don't think that all the buses are the same. Think of it this way. One bus is a sardine, the other bus gives you Wi-Fi, because there are definitely two different classes of buses when you go here. If you get kind of the local bus, you'll see the tinier buses on there, people packed in, not a lot of room, but it is dirt cheap to take. Otherwise, you take like the fancier buses, which have the Wi-Fi and the assigned seats kind of stuff, and the comfy seats and a TV screen and water bottles and stuff like that. There are definitely two ways you'll go on the buses, so you do want to check those out, okay? So just think cheaper and more expensive will also work in your favor in terms of comfort, okay? You pay for what you get when it comes to the buses. Now, the next set of don'ts I have here is actually going to be for your accommodation or at your hotel. One thing I want to tell you right now, look, Jamaica is definitely an all-inclusive resort country, especially on the north side of the country. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't forget to do your research on your all-inclusive or the resort you're looking to go to, because there's so many options here. There's ones for families, there's ones for singles, there's one for couples, there's one for adults only. Heck, there's a nudist one here too. There's all kinds of different resorts here, and you really need to do your research. Otherwise, you might end up one that doesn't do it for you. We're not saying a resort right now, but I just saw a resort tour go by, a bunch of college students for spring break kind of stuff. Like, oh, I remember those days. That's fun, but I got my little kids. I want something a little more relaxed. You got to make sure you do your research to pick the right one for you. Another don't I have for you with the all-inclusives and the resorts, don't think the all-inclusives and the resorts are going to give you a traditional Jamaican cultural visit, okay? Because they're all-inclusives. The food, the entertainment, this kind of stuff, usually not super local, so make sure you're asking, hey, if I'm at the buffet, ask the workers there, hey, which thing is traditional Jamaican? Oh, the jerk chicken over over here, and then for breakfast you want to have the ackee and saltfish. It's a fruit that looks like scrambled eggs. I'll talk about it later. Or try this over here. I mean, they'll let you know, because that's one thing I told you about. The locals are super friendly and helpful, so you just ask, they'll be glad to help you out, okay? But just know your hotel, not the most Jamaican part. So that's what I'm going to tell you. The next thing is, don't be afraid to sign up for a tour to leave the resort. Now, the resorts will have probably stuff that'll help you sign up. What I usually find better is look online, find a tour company that will do stuff for you, and maybe you only use them a couple days on your trip, or 3 or 4 days on your trip, however long you're there. It's nice because we had our resort days when we were in Montego Bay, and now we're here exploring more Ocho Rios area. So we went to the Blue Hole and Dunn's River Falls, and we've gone all over with them and stuff like that. And it's been nice because it got us out of our complex, of our resort, so we could see more of Jamaica, and we really fell in love with it. Because a lot of people, when they come here, they get upset with Jamaica because they only see the port and then the shopping thing by the port and then the huge lines that go along with the cruise ships. So don't let that be your only experience when it comes to Jamaica. Also, when you're looking at your hotel, if you're staying at a hotel, if they give you an advice on security, don't skip it. They're giving you that for a reason. So don't forget, if you're at, you're all-inclusive, you got your wristband, don't forget, put your passport and your wallet and stuff like that in the safe, because you don't need it while you're there. Lock it up so you don't even have to think about it. Another don't at your hotels or resorts, don't lose that wristband. Otherwise, you might have a huge fee to replace that. Because think about it, you just gave away free eats and drinks to somebody that has that wristband. So make sure you don't lose that, okay? I've noticed mine actually got ripped off, so make sure you're like, oh, it's starting to rip. Just take it to them, say, hey, can I get a new one? This one's ripping off. That'll make life a lot easier and a lot cheaper on your visit. So my next set of don'ts actually going to deal with you go to the beach here, because I'll be honest, you're going to want to get into the water when you are here and lay on the beach, because the beaches and the water here are gorgeous. And my first don't for you is, don't forget to apply that sunscreen early and often. I mean, I know I'm pretty red here and I've been applying multiple times a day. You do need to bring some good stuff with you, because it is a little pricey at the resorts and at the pharmacies. So don't forget to use that sunblock and reapply. Also, don't forget to bring the bug spray too, because the little midges and the mosquitoes and stuff will eat your ankles alive when you are here. And as they said, my son Liam has sweet blood, and they've really eaten him alive. So do have a heads up for that. Another thing I want to tell you is, don't think the beach is just the water and the beach. There's all kinds of great outdoor stuff to do when you are here. Parasailing, you can go kayaking, you can go on a catamaran out there, you can go snorkeling. There's reefs here, so you can go snorkeling, you can go scuba diving. If you're certified and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff you can do. There's some cliff diving you can do. Oh, and I should tell you a don't for that. If you're going to be at Negril, to 7 Mile Beach, and you're going to go down to Rick's Cafe, which is a really popular place for people to go, and there's cliffs that people can jump off of, I'm going to tell you right now, don't do it without thinking beforehand. Because somebody like, oh, I'm just going to jump. Look, you got to make sure you jump right, because we have a friend of ours, she busted her teeth when she jumped off there because she went down, crunch, and hurt it. Another buddy of ours hurt his tailbone. You got to be careful when you're jumping off those things. So don't just jump. Think about it before you do that. Have the plan. Ask them what's the best way to do it, okay? And when you're thinking about the beach, I mean, that's usually what people only think about with Jamaica. My next don't for you is, don't think Jamaica is just a beach. I mean, it's actually our first thing I talked about in our Shocks of Jamaica video was, it's more than just beaches. Because I know, like I said in the other videos, when people talk about Jamaica and tourism, they all make it sound like it's just a beach and that's it. There is so much more. The waterfalls you can go to. I know I talked about Dunn's River Falls here, and the Blue Hole you can go to here by Ocho Rios. But the thing is, there's mountains and hills in the inland part of Jamaica, and it's so cool. Hiking the Blue Mountain to watch the sunrise, or maybe you want to go to the, like I said, the Blue Hole, but there's other Blue Holes that are here, going hiking. There's so many things you can do when you're here that's not beach related, that could be nature related, or you can go for culture stuff. I mean, we really enjoyed going to some of the great houses, the plantation houses around here, because there's a lot of history in those things. I know we went to the Rose Hall house, and it had the Rose Hall, and it had like a ghost thing at night. If you got little tiny kids, don't do the ghost tour at night at Rose Hall. Go during the day for the normal tour, because it is a little spooky when you are there, just letting you know. But honestly, I just want you to know is, don't think Jamaica is just this. There's so much more to it, and that's one thing we've really loved, is the people and the food and just all the other great stuff that's here. And I haven't told you about the don'ts of the food. One, don't forget, it's not just jerk chicken here. There's a lot of really great food when you are here. Yes, the jerk chicken's great, and the jerk pork, fried chicken, barbecue fried chicken. You're gonna have oxtail, which is really good with some beans in it. Oh man, some butter beans. There's big beans in there. You might have curried goat with rice. Oh, it's so good. The patties that are here, it's kind of like a take on the British pies you'll have here, a pot pie kind of thing. You'll get to grab and go. There's so many good things to eat when you are here. The fruit is amazing. Oh my God. The rum is also really good too. You'll have a really great time with the juices and the food when you are here. So don't feel that you have to eat anything else but the local stuff when you are here. Another don't I have for you with the food, those specialties, I mentioned it earlier before. Don't think that the scrambled eggs with fish in it is actually scrambled eggs when you see it at the buffet in the morning. It's actually a national dish called ackee and saltfish. And ackee is actually a fruit that when you cook it, it looks like scrambled eggs. And they put the saltfish in there and you eat that. I don't think it's that bad. Liam was not a fan of it, but a lot of tourists go up there and they think it's the scrambled eggs at the buffet, and it's not. So make sure you read to make sure it's either scrambled eggs or ackee and saltfish, okay? And also what's nice is you don't have to worry about the tap water. You can drink the tap water here in Jamaica, no problem. So you'll have maybe ice water waiting for your red stripe to come, or when you have your rum punch and stuff like that, which is really nice. So you can just knock back the water. And if you're traveling here, one thing I'm going to tell you is don't expect this to be a cheap place. So having free tap water and free water on the table can save you a little money when you go out to eat, because man, I've been surprised how expensive it is. And I'm going to finish off with some safety don'ts when I am here. And the first safety don't I have for you is don't think that Jamaica isn't safe. Because a lot of things I read online before I came here, I was getting worried reading up on these things. I'm like, is it really that bad? I'll be honest, we've gone from Montego Bay to Negril to in the mountains, okay, and then to Ocho Rios, and then to Kingston, and honestly, we just haven't been to Port Antonio. I mean, basically, we've seen a lot of the country, and we haven't had any issues. Now, I can see where people feel like there can be issues. I'm not going to lie to you about that, but it's not as dangerous as people make it sound, okay? So don't let your fear of, oh no, it's a dangerous place, stop you from coming here. Now, I'm not going to say it's a completely safe place, though, so don't forget your usual travel sense. If there's towns you're not supposed to go to, like Spanish Town, you don't go there, okay? There's certain parts of Kingston you don't go to. Certain parts of Ocho Rios you don't go to. Ask your property if you're going to go off, where should I not go? Because believe me, they'll be glad to tell you where not to go. And they'll also tell you where to go, where a good restaurant is and things like that. Other simple travel things you need to make sure you're doing. You know, you don't wear bling when you're here. This is very much a laid-back place. So you're wearing laid-back clothes when you're going out. You're not wearing your gold watches and rings and stuff like that. Why make yourself a target, okay? I just want you to know is it's not as bad as people make it sound, but there are things you got to think about, okay? So just be smart about it and you'll be fine, okay? And you know what? If you're on the road and you're exploring, don't worry about eating at a jerk hut. Those are the huts on the side of the road where they're serving the jerk chicken, because believe me, they're going to be awesome and you're going to be fine eating there, because oh my God, it's so good to go to those. So definitely check out a jerk hut when you are wandering around, or when you're driving around, you want to grab a bite to eat, because man, they are good eating there.
So we can't come to Jamaica and make a video about what you should know without addressing ganja. Marijuana is a thing here. It is not taboo. It's just part of the culture, and you should be aware of that. Many people seem to think that it is legal. It is not. It is decriminalized. So as it's decriminalized for tourists, that means you can have up to 2 ounces and no more. And you can be pulled over, and your car can be searched and things like that. So if you choose to have it, please adhere to the maximum of 2 ounces. And don't go thinking that you can sneak it out of the country between your pimento leaves or anything else, because they have dogs and the dogs will catch it. And then you will go to what they call the problem hotel in Montego Bay, which just means jail. So be aware of these things and enjoy yourself when you're here.
And I think the last safety thing I want to talk about is, hey, if someone does try to rob you or take your stuff, just let them, just like anywhere in the world. It's not worth fighting over. What? It's your camera, it's your wallet. You know what? You get more money. You can come back to Jamaica again and get those pictures all over again. It's okay. Let them have it so you don't have to worry about it, all right? I know I finished off with some kind of safety stuff that kind of worries people. I'll be honest, we're here. It's me, my wife, my 2 kids. We've had a fantastic time meeting wonderful people. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about how wonderful a time we've had here. Honestly, we're talking about coming back to stay here again because we loved it so much. So I hope this helps you feel better about coming to Jamaica. And we just love helping out the travelers like you. So have a great time traveling, and I'll say bye from Jamaica.